All right, everyone, here we are with another video with Invest for Tomorrow. And to all the first-time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. And to all the subscribers, welcome back. All I ask for in return is for you to smash that like button to let me know you watched this video, to stay tuned on in towards the end of the video, because I do have a ticker symbol to share with you guys. Actually, two of them that are performing pretty well. I mean, one of them is almost $30 up since I mentioned it, and the other one is about $11, and these both have so much more potential going for them if you were to take them as a long-term or even a couple weeks from now or even a month from now type of swing trade. I mean, big potential within these two sectors, within these two stocks. So stay tuned for that. So Ocgn, Ocugen, we've been talking about this one and looking at its entire chart, comparing it to the past, how it spiked up here and it continued going downwards. The spike up here continued going downwards, and the missing part of the whole entire replication of what went on here is this big jump. Now, I don't think we're going to have such a big jump like this one unless a short squeeze happens again, because that was a short squeeze. But I do see this stock having room to go back up to $13, maybe even $14, right? Or worst case scenario, 10 to 12. If this FDA emergency use does get approved and the FDA grants Ocugen the opportunity to be one of the distributed U.S. market, right, vaccines. So Covaxin is still in the works of that. Ocugen is officially the U.S. market distributor, and I've seen a lot of different articles, and right now it shows that they are going to get about $1 billion, not in revenue, right, if not net profit. That's going to make their earnings look tremendous, and they're going to be able to get a market cap almost 2x. So, there's a lot of room here for Ocugen and this whole entire opportunity. But there's also the negative side of things, right? We can talk about all the great things and the wonderful things, but the negative side is that the FDA approval doesn't happen. No emergency use. Now, Ocugen needs to fight and try to get Covaxin on the market, but it seems kind of like, based off of the articles that I'm reading and everything, that there's a high chance that it will get that emergency use approval. But don't take my word for it. Do your research, do your due diligence. But there is high risk here because of all those big question marks, right? And then when it does happen, how are they going to distribute them? How well is it going to go for them with the whole entire supply chain of things? But basically, they plan on distributing 100 million Covaxin vaccines throughout the U.S. So that's going to be interesting. Now, here we are with Ocugen running up, right? And then it just fell back down. I think this is an anticipation for that FDA emergency use. But since the end of the week was coming, some profit taking came in. I think this still has room to fall a little bit more, especially if Monday turns out to be red. I mean, the S&P 500 index is super green right now. And you know what's interesting? A lot of people's investments and portfolios are in the red or sitting sideways. If that's you, comment down below with the emoji raising your hand, or just share how you feel about it, because I want you guys to be aware that you're not alone. I myself have some parts of my portfolio in the red, sitting sideways, and I've been taking this opportunity to do some swing trades, which are some of the stocks I talk about over at the Patreon and stuff like that. So if you guys want to know live updates on what stocks I'm watching and being able to access our private Discord, which I'm going to have very soon, hopefully over the weekend, I'll make it so we can start using it throughout the trades for the month of April. But that is coming soon. If you want more information on that, you can definitely check out the link down below to go see the different tiers. For as little as 13 cents a day, you can become a Patreon member, $4 a month, and receive all this great information. But yeah, I've been swing trading, and the S&P is going the opposite way. So I raised my hand. I think of me as that emoji with the hand raised. That's me right now. I got some stocks in the red, some sitting sideways, and a few that are green. But because I've actually switched and rotated to some other stocks that have to do with the recovery and stuff, but that's only going to last for so long. So I've been swing trading my way around it and building my positions for the stocks that have high conviction, right? Hopefully thinking they're on sale unless they're still high priced and the sale is coming later, right? If we were to have a a flash crash or a correction again. I don't know. That'll be very interesting. But here we are with Ocugen. So the support here is 664. If that gets broken through, we're sitting at 670. We need to watch it carefully and see how fast it's moving to newer lows. And then we have down here the support of 603. So keep that in mind. Pay close attention to how the bulls are reacting, or are the bears tearing this down. And the 50-day moving average here is 689. Anything below it is bearish. Anything above it is bullish. Now we do have a resistance here to keep in mind, and that's $7. So $7 definitely needs to be broken through beyond the 50-day moving average for the bulls to have that momentum to reach newer highs and new resistance levels, right? We want the bulls to break through it and pull away from it as far as they can. And the recent high was way up here at 817. We don't have to worry about that just yet, but that is something to keep in mind as the momentum comes back upwards. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you are a first-time viewer or investor coming across this channel, go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to not miss a single video that I post. Smash that like button to let me know you watch this video. Helps out the YouTube channel with the YouTube algorithm. Lets me know you appreciate the time and effort I put into making these videos. And stay tuned, because we got a lot to cover, and we got 2 ticker symbols that are doing really well, and they still have room to explode, set to explode, massive growth and opportunity. In today's video, I'm going to share with you guys how the S&P 500 index hit an all new time high, what that means for us next week, and what we need to look for. But before we dive into that, I do want every single investor and viewer to be aware of 2 ticker symbols that I've been mentioning here on the YouTube. I've mentioned it over at the Patreon. And if you guys want to know what stocks I'm watching weekly and live for 13 cents a day, literally 13 cents a day, the first tier, $4, which those slots are going to get filled up very soon. I'm treating the Patreon, and I want you guys to be aware of this, like a stock, right? Early stock, IPO'd, a lot of people don't know about it, and it's going to grow over time. And when I mean it grows over time, it's going to grow with people and investors that are bringing value to the community. It's going to grow with all the content I'm going to have there, because when you gain access to everything. As soon as you join, you gain access to everything I've talked about in the last 2 months and everything I'm going to continue to talk about, right? So when somebody comes in a year from now, they're going to actually be able to join on in, and they're going to get access to everything that I talked about in a year and even see how things have done. Now, I'm not there to guarantee maximizing profits or minimizing losses, but I am here to set you guys up for that opportunity to maximize your profits, minimize your losses. We're going to have a Discord really soon. And if you want to know the top stocks that I'm watching right now and next week and when this weekend comes up, because I'm going to update it, you can join now and start April to succeed this month. If your months have been red or they haven't been as exciting as it's been before, you want to join in now, because the opportunities are going to be endless, because we're going to talk about so many different ticker symbols, so many different things. But let's look at these stocks. So the first thing is Pinduoduo. I mentioned this on the 24th. It was sitting at 124, okay? Sitting at 124. And when we look at Pinduoduo, you can see here how Pinduoduo on the 24th was falling, and it kind of sat there at 124. It hit a low of 119, and right now it's sitting at 143 with a high of 147. You could do the math. That's about $27, almost $30. Now, another one that I talked about, which I've mentioned several times here on the YouTube towards the end of the videos, is CHPT. And I talked about how we want to pay close attention to see if it can get back to $20 or get close to it. And certainly it did that, and it broke through it, okay? It hit a low here. I talked about it on the 21st, the 22nd, it ran up to $25, fell down to $19, which is what I equipped every single Patreon member with. And as soon as it hit that, it started to run up, and it's hit $30. This one's up $11 since I mentioned it per share. So if you bought 1 share, you made $11. If you bought 10 shares, you made $110, okay? If you went ahead and bought 100 shares, you've made a total amount of 1,100 shares, okay? I don't know what that means to you. I'm going to explain everything on the Patreon once I make the series, And these are two opportunities, and there's many more that are doing pretty well. I mean, I even talked about Neo. I talked about others. You know, for you to get the full access, there's like 20 plus ticker symbols over there so far. You can join us over at the Patreon, me and the other investors. And I'm out here just trying to maximize profits, minimize losses. And my goal, for example, just based off this chart, is to go ahead and strike the opportunity right here, the best opportunity that's presented right now compared to the history of the chart and for the future, right? I try to get in at the best moments, as you could see with those two stocks that I talked about. Now, other stocks are kind of moving sideways, but like I said, I'll explain more over at the Patreon about those stocks and what I see in them and what I believe in them. So the S&P 500 index has actually ran up to an all-time high, and this is important for us. So I want you guys to be aware there's two things that can happen next week. We could see it spike up a little bit more and all of a sudden fall down because it is due for a pullback. It needs to cool off. I'm not saying it's going to get back to 39.73, but it could fall somewhere between that area. And once it does, it will consolidate maybe and then start to run up again. That's one case. The second one is that this just gets crazy and goes all the way up to the 4100s, 4200s. And once it's time to cool off, it's going to be a big cool off. And when I say a big cool off, I'm talking about like a big downward trend closer to 3800, 3900 from those highs. And then we're going to have to go ahead and see overall what's going in the market, right? Because there's going to be that turbulence of uncertainty with inflation, you know, spikes in the yields. What's going to be the cause at that point, right? But right now, we've had a pretty nice bullish run after this slight pullback. We're going to just have to see how healthy this can maintain itself. And pullbacks are healthy. It's just about how big is the pullback going to be. And also runs are healthy, but how long will it be running? Because if this just takes off to 41, 42, the pullback is going to be nasty. And we need to pay close attention. Now, I know a lot of us have our ticker symbols or our stocks kind of sitting sideways or downwards, but you have to find stocks you believe in, and you also need to analyze those stocks that you're in. Why were you in them? What was your goal? And do you truly believe there's an opportunity 6 months from now or a year from now? As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching.